So recently I reviewed Le Lion, the newest fragrance from Chanel. And I decided to come back to the Chanel boutique here in Miami to review the fragrance that came out in 2019, Coromandel, and then ultimately the one even before that, Sycamore, which are all three kind of similar. So I'm gonna go there now and start my review coming up next. So here we have Coromandel, which is, you can see guys, next to Le Lion, which I reviewed for you already. And then I'm gonna do Coromandel, and then ultimately I'm gonna go down and also review Sycamore, another one I really like. One's been around for a few years now. So I'm gonna review Coromandel, I'm gonna spray it, smell it, I'll let you guys know shortly. Welcome back everybody, and here I am. As you can see, I'm walking around now at Brickell City Center at the Chanel boutique, which I just left, and got a wonderful presentation, actually on a bunch of the bottles. I never really knew the story behind Chanel. Did you know that each release that she does, that Chanel does, there's a story behind the name, so it's inspired by something in her life. So for example, Chanel number 5 was based on her growing up as an orphan. You've got Boy, which is based on the first boy she ever fell in love with and the only man she ever loved, according to the story. Then you have Russian Leather, which was another friend of hers that had these Russian boots that he would polish and clean, and the smell that would come up from that reminded her and inspired her to do the Russian Leather, which was last year. Anyways, I am now, again, going to be reviewing Coromandel, and you can see I have the scent square, not scent strip. I talked about scent strips the other day. They actually have a scent square, so easier to spray on, right? And this is definitely an Oriental woody fragrance. And what is Coromandel based on? For those of you who didn't know, Coromandel are those dividers that you put between rooms. They're usually black with Oriental drawings and paintings. They're very popular in Asia. And she has them all over, has had them all over her apartments and houses, and she likes them very much. So she imagines that this is what a Coromandel would smell like. So cool backstory to it. And on this you have, the top notes are kind of bitter orange, neroli, and citrus. So this is more citrusy than Le Lion, which is the most recent release. Even though they're kind of in the similar family, they're both kind of darker. I would say this one is more woodsy. This one's also got rose, it's got orris butter in it. It's got jasmine, which, by the way, did you know this? The one fragrance note that is in all Chanel's is jasmine. Again, this is what I learned today from the store manager here at the boutique. And that's why you have that DNA that smells, no matter what you smell, something always smells like Chanel. So, pretty cool fact. But again, I really like this top. I have it on my hand here and I have it on the card. And to me, this is kind of, it's a little bit darker than Le Lion. And I think that's partly because in the middle notes you have patchouli also. And you've got some woodsy notes that they list. I don't know, you definitely get that wood element. Really pleasurable, enjoyable. Very much like Le Lion, but not so much ambery. Le Lion was like an amber bomb. This one's a little bit more complex, I would say, than Le Lion. Very nice fragrance. I'll update it as I walk around a little bit more. Okay, I'm back. Again, JoelTheNose. Been walking around now for about an hour and a half, and the fragrance is really drying down nicely into that mid-note region, which is kind of, you definitely get patchouli. Patchouli to me is very noticeable when I smell it in a fragrance. I love patchouli. It's not overly patchouli, but you definitely get it. But the orris butter kind of gives it something of a creaminess. Orris butter is one of the most, by the way, expensive natural fragrant notes in the world because of how hard it is to extract just little bits. So, as usual, Chanel is using very high-end ingredients. Whether you like the house or not, they use high-end ingredients. It's a very, very well blended perfume. And I'm even starting to get some of the dry down now, which is kind of, again, more of the woodsy, the woodsy notes come out a little bit more. There's also some incense and vanilla. And just a touch of rose. Again, this is not, by any means, I would not consider this a rose fragrance, but it does have some rose in there. The patchouli comes out much more on my skin than it does on the card, by the way. So there you go. That's kind of an update at the hour and a half, 2 hour mark. I'll update it one more time, kind of give it my final thoughts on this. It's a little bit more than a first impression, but it's not a full review, called a first review. So how do you like my backdrop here? One of the cool buildings here in Miami, Brickell area, but I wanted to just do a quick reference point to what this reminds me of. This is a spicy chai tea. Clearly Coromandel, again, inspired by the Asian wall or room dividers. This is a very Oriental fragrance. This reminds me of a really high quality spicy chai tea. When you smell it and you lift it up to your, to your nose and you smell it for the first time, that's what this is. So where Le Lion was in kind of this ambery vanilla balm, this is a spicy patchouli chai tea. It's more exotic than Le Lion. Le Lion is a little bit more straight and narrow, and Coromandel is the more exotic Asian chai tea. Okay, here I am now, and getting further into the dry down, and as it went through the middle notes, it really kind of started to go into, after about 4 hours, into this very nice, almost amberish. I would say there's amber in there. I don't know if it's officially listed, but vanilla. It gets more like Le Lion as it gets more towards the dry down. The top and the middle don't remind me of Le Lion at all. This is much more complex. Le Lion I like because I love amber, and that's an amber balm, and amber goes so well on my skin, but it's a more linear fragrance. Coromandel is a fragrance that is going to take you on a little bit more of a trip to the Far East, to Asia, like the name Coromandel signifies. So I think it's going to tend a little bit more feminine to me than Le Lion, although Coromandel is still extremely unisex. And again, that patchouli is expertly mixed with the orris, and I also get, it's very spicy, and again, more spicy to me than Le Lion, but I also get almost like a tea note in here. But as it dries down to this base, it gets kind of this, again, more amber, a little bit more sweet vanilla, and you also get like an incense from Olibanum, and there's some musk in there, which makes it, again, an excellent skin scent when you get into that incense and vanilla range. So there you have it. By the way, just like Le Lion, it's about, for a 75 ml bottle, it's about $200. It's about $300 if you want to get the 200 milliliter bottle. I'm sorry, $300. So if you like Chanel, again, this is a very good fragrance between Coromandel and Le Lion. I'm going to think about it, because I want to review still Sycamore, which I'll add to this kind of triumvirate trio that I'm doing, and then I'll kind of pick my favorite of the three after I review that one. But let me know, have you guys tried this? Have you gotten your nose on Coromandel? It's been out for a couple years. Do you wear it? Let me know your thoughts. This is Joel the Nose. Thanks for watching here in downtown Miami. Hopefully the noise hasn't been too loud for you guys. I appreciate you watching. Peace and love.